Now that Nifty has made an all-time high, what can I expect from here on? Should I buy? Should I sell? Or should I hold if I have any positions in the market? So to find out, let's look at the chart patterns. What is that the setup tells us on Nifty and also Bank Nifty. Now, if I look at the Nifty weekly chart, in terms of price, it's a very strong bullish pattern. So whatever bearish pattern that we saw last week, we have seen market closing above almost last week high also. We are yet to finish the week because tomorrow is a trading day. So we are yet to finish the week. But as of now, if the major correction doesn't happen, we will probably close this week on a very positive note and a positive candle also. In terms of RSI is finding support at 60 levels, which is a very healthy sign. See, whenever RSI finds support at 60 like this, it's a pretty healthy sign in the market. So, in terms of weekly, in terms of price, still good. And not only that, in terms of moving averages, price is still trading above a short term moving average on weekly, which is also very strong bullish setup in terms of price, volume, and momentum. We're not looking at volume because Nifty cash is not traded. This is a cash chart. Look at daily. So daily, what is happening is in terms of daily chart, we still have no problem making higher highs and higher lows in the market. Despite momentum divergence, we are still able to make new highs in the market, which is a very healthy sign. Now, what can we expect? Bharat, we are at 19,000 levels. What can we expect? What can we expect is tomorrow, there is an hourly chart. Let's take a look at the hourly chart. uh, what was the struggle for Nifty? The Nifty struggle was around 18,870, 880 levels was a struggling area because we saw couple of times market selling off from the same level. So now what is happening is, if you look at the change of polarity, any resistance once broken most likely to become a support area. This is what we call as a change of polarity. So any small dips or any small profit booking that's going to come, we would probably see market holding above 18,880 by change of polarity. If not, gap is also there. So if you look at this gap area here, where we saw a gap up on Wednesday, there's a gap also. So either the resistance can act as support or this gap can act as support area. So basically we have a support zone between 18,870 to 18,820. So basically 18,820 to 18,870 will be a support area. Any small dips is a good buying opportunity. Now if you see the market, there are two kinds of corrections that we will see. One is a sharp V-shaped correction like this. Look at this. This is a V-shaped correction where you see market going up, one small indecisive candle and then dip. And there are other corrections wherein you see RSI again going back to 70 75. Like we saw here on a sharp recovery, RSI went to 70 75 levels. There was a sharp recovery, and next before that RSI went to 70 75 levels, but market went into consolidation here. If you see, market went to consolidation. When the market was going into consolidation, RSI started putting up a bearish divergence in the market. So this was also a correction. So either a correction could be a sharp V shape or a correction could be associated with divergences. Now what can we expect? Because usually RSI 70 75 levels is an overextension on any time frame. Two, we should at least need some pause in terms of time or price. Either price could correct or market should spend a little more time there so that RSI will cool off towards a certain level where it is ready for a next up move. Now, given the setup, I don't see a V shape like this. I would probably see market going trying to break 19,000, maybe to 100 or 70, 80, 19,000, 80, 70. Start showing you some kind of a divergences here, and then small correction, and this correction likely to sustain above 18,820 to 18,880. So that is a level where we would probably prepare our long positions. Any long positions here as a very poor risk reward. We are at a all-time high. Plus, it's a psychological level. So market usually doesn't break psychological level. Psychological level itself acts as a resistance. Why? Because it's an uncharted territory. There is no way that okay, I don't have a reference here to mark resistance support areas. Support areas I can mark, but not a resistance area. So when there is no resistance area, what can I expect? I can either find out next resistances to two things. One is a Fibonacci extension, and second thing is where you look at psychological levels like 19,000, 19,500, where okay, market hit 19,000. There are a lot of news channels were speaking about Nifty hitting 19,000, right? So that is a psychological level. So these two psychological levels might play some role here in terms of resistances. So having said this, I would expect that some kind of a divergence before a correction, maybe 19,070, 80 levels is where you might see some kind of a divergence happening, and then a small dips. That dip should be a very good buying opportunity for us. But any long positions here will have a very poor risk reward ratio. Please keep that in mind. So 18,800 and above is what I need to watch in terms of Nifty. Now, if I look at Bank Nifty, though Nifty made a new high, Bank Nifty was not making a new high on Wednesday. Having said this, now we are at a level where we are struggling to cross 44,500. Now, will this give a breakout? There are less than 20%, 30% chance where it will further go up move, or further up move will continue, given RSI on hourly chart above 70, 75 levels. Usually, any breakouts when RSI is at 70, 75 levels usually do not sustain. It will come back. Like what? See, this was a resistance area, right? This was a resistance area, and there was a breakout here. When the breakout happened, RSI was almost at 74, 75. Did not continue. Small correction where RSI came back to a reasonable level, and then a next move. Usually, that is what we could probably expect here also. So maybe around 44, 500 levels, we might see some kind of a divergences, a cool off. That cool off is necessary. It's like you're running a marathon. After 5 or 10 kilometers of run, you need rest. Without rest, you cannot run further. Here also, RSA has run quite a bit. Price has run quite a bit. A small cool off is very good for the next up move to continue. Otherwise, the next up move will be little uh, not very strong on a very strong footnote. That is what I could probably expect. Now, Bharat, what would be the correction levels? See, this is the resistance area, which was a resistance area. Now it is broken. So now this is the level where any small dips we should expect market to sustain above this, which is 44,000 levels. So as long as the market sustains above 44,000 levels, I could still expect market to make a new high in Bank Nifty. That means we will probably expect 44,500 to break out. It is not immediately, given the RSA overextensions. Some cool off in terms of time or price are expected given this setup, right? Even if there is a gap up, it will probably cool off immediately. So a lot of people who have been holding on to the market from quite a long time, they tend to book out profits if there is a gap up like this, right? So I would expect some cool off. Even if there is no cool off, risk reward doesn't favor right now to take any fresh long exposure here. So I would wait for the market to cool off to 44,000 or 44,200 for me to pick up any buying positions here. In terms of daily, that's what I said. Gap up did not sustain. Now, when you look at RSI divergence are here. So we are just RSI just nicked this divergence trend line. Usually, RSI trend lines will be broken first before price trend lines. If you have been following RSI, or if you know RSI properly, see, this was a price trend line, whereas this was a RSI trend line. Probably I could draw from here something like this. I could draw. See, RSI trend line broke first before the price broke. So there's always price broke here, RSI broke much earlier. Usually, the trend lines on RSI will be broken earlier than the price. So as of now, the trend line is broken. Consolidation here is very very good because you take a look at this. This is an all-time high. Last time when we saw this, we saw a V-shaped fall, right? And though the price came, it could not sustain above this long-term moving average. Here also we are at the same level, but this dip we are able to sustain above this long-term moving average on a daily chart, which is a very healthy sign. So some consolidation like this, and then boom, is what you could expect on Bank Nifty, for which 44,000 is a support area. So I'll still hold on to bullish view, which I was repeating last 2 3 days back also. I will hold on to bullish view. 18,800 and 44,000 is a very decent level for me to take any long exposure. A time correction or a price correction is very, very good for us to travel to the next level. Otherwise, it will be little difficult, right? So, having said this, keep following us on all the Telegram, Twitter, Insta, and YouTube so that you don't miss any of these updates. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye. See you tomorrow.